Oh my God, he totally embarrassed himself on live camera. Listen up, we're all supposed to vote for the Christian Democratic Union in Baden-Württemberg this Sunday, so that we can all pray things will get better. I'm not kidding, that's exactly what he said, because after all, politics can't change anything about it. I'd say let's start with the first clip, and honestly, it's bordering on pure hard-hitting satire at this point. What Carsten Linnemann said overall.
And right now, we're seeing a delicate little seedling in the industry.
What is it with everyone in the Christian Democratic Union and a delicate little seedling? Our gas reserves are gone, the debt is crushing us, and yes, there are a few startups that are now built on this debt-driven growth. But I would also explain to you right away that if we all really vote for the Christian Democratic Union now, things might get better, but only if we pray. Now let me show you a clip. Of course, you've noticed that almost every hour planes from Ramstein are flying to Israel and that there are stratotankers over Israel almost all the time to attack Iran. I think we can all agree on that. And now take a look at what he has to say.
And the Strait of Hormuz can be used properly again. And it's not just about oil, but also about other deliveries. And then we would have a relaxation in the next 4, 5, 6 weeks. Maybe even a significant relaxation. I think we need to think in these scenarios. And these are market events. And as politicians, we can't pretend that we can fight against that. We can't.
No, you definitely can't lower taxes, slightly reduce social benefits, or even cut funding to Ukraine a bit. I can see up there again, a whole squadron is flying over me. Yeah, right over the roof. It's about to get loud, so quick cut. Once again, I didn't get anything. By the way, tonight's live stream will probably be cancelled if you're seeing this video because I barely have any internet left here. So, back to the context. Other parties, for example, could also limit aid to Ukraine a bit in order to maybe generate growth again. The Christian Democratic Union can't do that. The Christian Democratic Union doesn't want to do that. The Christian Democratic Union just wants to run this country into the ground and let the fragile little plant wither again. Otherwise, they would actually do something. And above all, they would just separate from their disgusting coalition partner, the Social Democratic Party, to finally make reasonable policies for the people again. Did I just say that? Yes.
People in Baden-Württemberg must consider this. We're discussing economic policy. Should future economic policy be set by a Christian Democratic Union or a Green Minister President? That's the main question. That's why everyone who votes for the Free Democratic Party has to ask themselves, is it right to vote for the Free Democratic Party, or am I in fact voting for a Green government led by the Greens?
Let's just judge you by your performance. Yes, the gas reserves are now so depleted that there are constant power outages here. Not even Robert Habeck managed that. Yes, the Greens lied to us and are ideological. I can understand that. However, I also have to say, the Christian Democratic Union just lies to us without even being ideological, and they're also just dumb and incompetent. I really have to say it like that, so it's probably obvious, and I won't vote for either of them. And now it's happening again, yeah, the usual election bickering. Now they're going at each other with knives.
And it's the same with Alternative for Germany voters. Whoever votes for Alternative for Germany wakes up with the Greens. Those are harsh words, but that's the reality. In my opinion, in the end, it might come down to a few thousand votes, so every vote counts.
Exactly. Don't vote for the others because they are absolutely evil, and under no circumstances vote for them. The Alternative for Germany definitely doesn't do that. They've got all this corruption around them now. Well, wait a minute. But they're the only ones who haven't lied yet. And hey, let's be completely honest now, especially here in Baden-Württemberg. I mean, you have to choose between the plague and cholera, or you really give both of them a hard time. I'm for giving them a hard time so they know they can't do whatever they want with this country. And the more they argue, the sooner there will be new elections, or they'll end up completely at each other's throats. So that even the last German citizen realizes that the Christian Democratic Union, Social Democratic Party and Greens are basically just, I'll call it, a left-leaning clique that just hands out positions among themselves and doesn't want to let anyone else play along. That's exactly how the citizens in this country perceive our politics. Because otherwise, and I really have to say it like this, there's just no other way to describe this whole circus. Let's just take the example, yes, we will set up defensive measures against Iran, which means we will destroy their missiles on Iranian soil. That's defensive? Well, to me, that's offensive. But those are once again the lies from the Christian Democratic Union that they feed us to start a war that none of us here want.
And I want a minister president who actually pursues economic policies that support the economy, not an economic minister president who just pretends to support the economy. Mr. Ozdemir, but actually he's a grab bag because we saw that with Mercosur. The Greens rejected a free trade agreement.
Wait a second, since when has Ozdemir been with the Christian Democratic Union? I thought he was with the Greens. Did I miss something? Is it now Christian Democratic Union against Christian Democratic Union? So the big lying, yeah, that's the Christian Democratic Union's field. Well, one thing I do know, the Greens didn't lie half as much as the Christian Democratic Union did in their campaign. But what do I know? The Greens only destroyed this country, and the Christian Democratic Union went even further. Why is there actually a task force for energy now if we don't even have an energy emergency? But now they're consulting until their heads are hot. And well, what can I tell you? It's nothing but hot air. Are you planning to vote for the Christian Democratic Union in Baden-Württemberg? Go ahead, you'll see that even Emanuel Hegel will lie to you from start to finish. That's just how it is.
I think there are a lot of them, not just, I believe that's my conviction. There are a lot of protest voters who are dissatisfied with those in power. That means
many voters are dissatisfied with my policies and say they will vote for the Alternative for Germany in protest.
And I want to win many of them back. For example, by saying that on Thursday, for instance, we are introducing the new basic security in the German Bundestag.
Carsten, I'll tell you straight, won't you manage it with constant new lies? You can do it if you show people now that things are working again. Dear Carsten, yes, let me explain it to you very clearly. If you bring up the topic of basic security, citizens' income, whatever you want to call it, yes, social benefits, whatever. If you keep throwing money abroad, if you keep supporting clans, if you keep spending at least 50 billion at a minimum for migrants, people won't believe you. Especially not the taxpayers here. And to add to that, for each person in Germany who receives citizens' income, 2,000 euros per year are intended just for administration. Of course, you somehow forgot about that, or maybe you didn't think about it. I know that already. The only thing I can really recommend to you, and now I'm actually campaigning for the Christian Democratic Union, the only thing you could do to maybe win back a few voters would be to kick out the Social Democratic Party. And as quickly as possible before the election campaign in Saxony-Anhalt. But shh, I didn't say that. Of course, you'll never do that because then you'd have to expect that leftist Antifa activists would smash your buildings and no longer see you as politicians, but as absolute enemies. The Social Democratic Party is the only one preventing that at the moment.
That's right, it's the only one preventing that at the moment.
The Social Democratic Party is who don't even go to vote in the first place.
So, the outcome of this election may depend less on the party platforms and more on how many people actually prevent the moment, right?
People still believe all this nonsense you put out. Yes, all these shitstorm campaigns, all this crap that's completely normal with the Christian Democratic Union and the Social Democratic Party. Yes, but with one party that's considered highly reprehensible. Yes, that people are paid 4,000 euros while some in the Social Democratic Party get 10,000 euros for the same job. We don't necessarily address that. Exactly, and that's the problem here in Germany. People are tired of politics. And I won't stop. I'll keep pushing, even if it's the last thing I do, just to get a chance someday. Will the Alternative for Germany change anything, yes or no? And I think let's just give them a chance. And then we'll see. I remember the interview with Van Aken. No, we don't want to improve the country, as that would normalize the Alternative for Germany. Here's a crazy saying like that. If you have the same common ground, then for God's sake, just vote together. End of story.